So to start this morning, our focus in the first two sessions actually is on innovation, and we begin with Albert Bourla, Chairman and Chief Executive Officer of Pfizer. So Albert, please join me on the stage. Thank you. Do you want to? So welcome. It's great that you're here with us. I guess one of the best-known Greek origin chief executives in the world, and also someone who has had a remarkable role to play in recent times because of the pandemic, a very prominent role. Maybe we could start with the pandemic. We want to explore the frontiers of innovation as seen from pharmaceutical research and development. Are you confident that we have what it takes to tackle the next pandemic? Because there will surely be one.
First of all, I want to thank you for the invitation to speak here. It's a great pleasure to be among many visitors, and many of them are compatriots of me, my beautiful country of Greece. The answer to your question is scientifically, we are better prepared. But the pandemic show us that a health crisis can easily become a major political debate and major political crisis. And this has driven significantly by also the geopolitical situation that creates such a polarization in populations. So I would say no, we are not better prepared for the next pandemic because the systems, I don't think that they learned from what happened during this pandemic the right lessons.
What should those lessons be? What, in your view, what would need to be put in place in order for us to be better prepared?
I think we need to look back and see what really helped and saved us. So what saved us was science in the hands of a private sector, but collaborated very well with academia and with regulators around the world to
it was
bring
remarkably
solutions.
Fast, wasn't it? I mean, incredibly
Exactly,
quickly.
Right?
Yeah.
So what we should then do, it is to create the conditions that if something like that happens again, God forbid, the private sector will double down even more in trying to save the world. On the contrary, what we try to do it is to regulate it, to make sure that there are ideas that if a new pandemic happens, if you want to jump and create a vaccine, you need to buy the virus from the state that has originated, and also to commit that every work that you are going to do to give some commercial commitments to this. These are things that they are not going to drive many companies to repeat what we have done.
What about the collaborations between companies? Because obviously you compete, but also on vaccine, at a certain level, you also need to collaborate. And also
I think
with
it was spectacular. I think during the crisis, all companies that are doing diagnostics, or all companies that are doing therapeutics, or companies that are doing vaccines, they had great collaboration with themselves. They had competition, which was good and healthy. Clearly, Moderna wanted to be the first one, and we wanted to be the first one. And that worked for the benefit of humanity.
Yes.
Because we were trying to bring
But it turned out there was enough space for both of you anyway.
And turned out that it was enough space for both of us. But the fact that during as we were doing the studies, we were publishing usually the same day the results, so that our competitors will see and learn from the mistakes, because there were a lot at stake. It was not only who wins, it was the world needs to, who survives, right?
Yes.
I think that was exemplary, the collaboration that we had.
So I'd like to look now more towards the future and explore a little bit of what excites you about the frontiers of pharmaceutical research and what sort of, well, first of all, perhaps we'll step right back, not specific diseases that you're targeting, but you were saying to me earlier that we're actually in a remarkable phase of speeded up development of scientific research in this area. What is driving that, and why should that give us hope for future treatments?
I believe we are at the cusp of a scientific renaissance when we will see medical innovation and advancements that we didn't dream before that we could have. The reasons are because we have, not for the first time, but in a significant degree right now, the collision between advancements in biology, biological sciences, and in technological science. And with the latest of them being AI, but even before AI, digital was enabling tremendous capabilities of biology.
Computing power, really?
Computing power is one of the most important that we need now that we have AI. But in drug discovery, usually takes many years because we try to discover a molecule among millions of molecules that would have the desired effect. Right now, in Pfizer, we have the ability to do billions in silico within our computers. I ask many times our scientists, does it make sense to have more billions? Because they tell me we need more computational power. And the answer is no, it's infinite, the number of molecules that you can synthesize. So yes, you need this computational power so that you can go to trillions. And then this is how you can discover medicines that they are way more effective, way safer, and in a period of time that it is a fraction of what before was taking.
And so as a pharmaceutical company, you presumably have to make decisions about where to, this is, what you're describing is an era of opportunity, but you have so many possibilities that you could explore. So how do you go about saying, well, we're going to focus on, this set of diseases or this particular set of problems?
There are multiple, as always. It's multifactorial, this decision process, but the fundamentals needs to be a major medical need. We go after diseases that are affecting seriously and very big parts of the population. So that's one. Now, among them, there are things that we have capabilities that will give us the right to say we can invest there and then provide a solution. And there are some others areas that we don't have in-house, those capabilities. Cancer, for example. It is an area that after COVID, we doubled down. We had a very, very competent cancer division, and we used all the cash that we generated because of our success in COVID to buy another company that has tremendous technology on cancer. Now, in our hands, with the scale of Pfizer, this new technology will deliver solutions for cancer that, as I said before, we didn't dream that we could see.
So cancer is a very big sort of umbrella word that includes a lot of specific different types of cancers, different, various varieties, some treatable, some less treatable. So where should we expect the advances? And it would be interesting to have a few examples of where advances are imminent or possible in the treatment of different sorts of cancer.
Yeah. Cancer is not one disease, as you said. There's maybe 300. And the reason why I'm very optimistic about cancer, it is because the scientists know tremendous amount of detail for each one of these 300. And they know why the cancer is created. They know that after you fight it and it disappears, while after 5 years, it can do a metastasis. And we know why, when you have it under control with a drug, suddenly the tumor becomes resistant to the drug and then starts growing again. I think in lung cancer, we will see significant advancements. I think in some of the most difficult cancers, like bladder, colon cancers, those are very difficult ones. we will see significant improvements going ahead. And also in blood malignancies like lymphoma, leukemia, etc., we will see significant advancements as well.
Apart from cancer, what sorts of other diseases are you particularly focusing on right now?
Clearly, we are one of the few companies in the world that they are so good in making vaccines. Mm-hmm. So we are having vaccines for multiple respiratory diseases, and we are creating now new vaccines for pediatric use. And we are aiming to develop vaccines for diseases that we were not able until now to produce a vaccine. We are very strong in cardiovascular and metabolic diseases. We have a legacy from the Lipitor time and Norvasc times. And metabolic diseases, one of the most famous right now, it is obesity.
Yes.
So we are doing work in obesity. Again, big medical need, and we have capabilities. We know the metabolic diseases very well.
So let's move from the scientific side to the, if you like, the geopolitical side. You know, these are global, human issues everywhere in the world, but we face increasing barriers, I would say, around the world to both the supply chains that you might be using and the regulatory regimes that you have to deal with around the world. So how does that look from a Pfizer perspective? Is it getting worse, or is it just something you have to deal with because that's the way the world works?
Some cases worse, sometimes some cases better, and that's what we have to deal. The political situation, when it comes to geopolitics, the tensions between different nations, we tend to be immune from this type of crisis. The technology, for example.
Even for China, for example?
Even for China or Russia or all of these things. Medicines, typically, they are excluded from trade wars, barriers, etc., because they are treating diseases. So you can say a child in Iran will not receive the medicine because you have issues with the country, right? So from that aspect, we are not as affected as chips, for example. You can send chips to China. But our industry is highly regulated, as you said, and also in most countries, the government is the only customer, and in all countries, the government is the biggest customer. So who is in the government is extremely important for us.
And isn't it also the case that the government would be the owner of data that could be very useful for your research? You need to do, health data that could give you guidance as to what you're aiming for, or big data sets that you could
Usually it's not the government, but there are cases like UK, for example, they have a very good health database. Israel had a tremendous electronic medical records that you want them to provide access to them so that you can discover. But a lot of the fundamental knowledge exists either in our labs or in academia or in small biotech companies. So this is this ecosystem between big pharma, academia, and biotechs that needs to work so that you can discover new medicines. And the government regulates everything because it's highly regulated how you exchange data, how you do clinical trials, everything. And then eventually, if you have a medicine, how you market it and what you can say and all of that. So it's extremely important to have governments that they understand the value of innovation, they understand what it takes to generate innovation, and they create the conditions so that will flourish in their country.
So in that context, what about Greece? Obviously, you're head of a global company, US-based, but you have obviously Greece is important to you culturally in your own history. How is Greece positioned to take part in this innovative ecosystem?
Setting aside the sentimental connection that I have with the country, I think the country is admirable right now. We have, Greece has scientists that they are available and they can be utilized if they are given the opportunity to work in projects. We created a major hub in Thessaloniki, Pfizer. We started thinking that we were going to make...
Was it entirely coincidence that you are from Thessaloniki? Or
Entirely.
Entirely, good,
Yeah.
good, yes.
But the thing is that we started with a plan to have a hub of 200 specialized digital scientists and data scientists. Right now, we are 1,200 almost, I think.
Since how long?
Certainly more than 1,000.
When did you begin? So this
3 years ago.
Okay, so it's been
3
very
years ago.
fast.
Very fast. And the reason why we have increased so dramatically is not because I'm from there. It's because we found talented people that they are working very hard and very smart, and we're very pleased with the results. Greece also, in European Union, is a major supporter of innovation. This is something that for us, as an industry, that it is built on our ability to innovate, is extremely important. And clearly, we want to make investments in countries that, as I said before, they understand what it takes to create an ecosystem of innovation. And Greece is seriously committed to do that.
Wonderful. Well, we're out of time, but I want to say that we've spent a lot of the past 2 days worrying about the trends of the geopolitics and all sorts of worrying trends that we have. But this has been an optimistic session, and I think, sorry, what are you? This has been a very optimistic session, so that's a great way, I think, to start us off for this morning, and I appreciate that, and thank you very much. Please join me in thanking you.
Thank you very much.